remember to tell your students when you start your classes to breathe really deeply below the navel. It's a couple inches below the belly button, and that's called the dantian. And what you want to tell your students is to breathe really deep, be very relaxed, feel as soft as a bag of water. You want to be just like water. And to develop that, you breathe, relaxed breath in, and then just feel very soft, very soft, very soft as water. So we're doing this frog for a lot of beginning things because it's to help you be grounded and be just as water. You want to be as soft as water. When you're as soft as water and you're practicing your yoga as water, you'll be able to adapt to the shape of a posture better because you're not going to be stiff and tight like a robot, like the metal energy, which is tight. So the softer you are, the more you can adapt to postures and grow. And water is what we are. We're a bag of water. We're mostly water. So the more you can be water-like, the more you'll be in harmony with yourself because you're actually mostly water. The other elements, you bring them forth when you need to. So the elements are going to be earth, metal, water, wood, fire. And you'll use those elements according to maybe a posture that we're going to work on, but you'll use them naturally as you just live and go through life. So your posture of starting out, if you can be water, that's very important. But a lot of people will be a different type of energetic quality of an element, which could be an imbalance possibly, like metal. If somebody's extremely metal, the circulation will be slow, the chi flow will be slow, and tightness. We've all seen people that were so tight like robots moving around. That means contraction, tightness. And the metal element that endows the body can be changed by just working these postures to reduce that type of tightness. When you do the class itself, the ideal will be that it will balance your energy so that you're naturally back to water. When you rebalance your energetics. And those are what we're made of, the 5 elements. The 5 elements are everywhere around us. Everything's connected as one, and it's not separable. So all the animals naturally in nature have their own energetic quality and balance, and they stay in balance just by living in harmony. But when you're out of harmony with nature, then you have a problem that can change your energetics. So our minds think too much. In the Western mind is the mind that thinks too much. What you want to do when you're doing the classes and the practice is to get out of the thinking mind completely. And this is the harder part to develop. What you want to do, though, is as you're doing the practice, is feel what you're doing through the actual intuitive heart. And that means no thought, but feel what you're doing and just feel it. And if you can get out of your thinking mind, you'll notice as you do it and get out of your mind, from time to time, you start to just go with the flow and feel it. If you can do that regularly with all your practice, then you'll actually be benefiting much more than if you're saying, now I'm thinking about reaching down here to reach to this ankle, or I'm thinking about a meridian in the leg or something like that. You're in the thought process. To do this art properly, you have to stop thinking and just feel what you're doing. And that's called the monkey mind. And the monkey mind in Taoist practice is not like what people talk about in Buddhism. It's the monkey mind means that you're not thinking and you're just feeling and going with the flow. So it means empty your thoughts, no thoughts. Just feel what you're doing and respond. So like if I'm sitting here and I don't think about anything, I feel a water energy coming, and all of a sudden I respond by being like a frog. Or I might be here and I might feel like an energy of heat and fire, and I start to become like the dragon, like the phoenix, say. So it's about responding also to what you're feeling. So one day you feel really watery. Another day you feel tight. You're like wood. So you might say, I'm wood-like and I'm too stiff. Let me relax and try to feel more heat. And then you feel a different flow of energy come from that. It's all about what you do. And it's not like a daily ritual where you do the same exact thing every single day. So you're going to come out one day and say, oh, my whole upper back and this feels so tight, I'm going to just try to relax and feel like the wood element and grow and stretch and expand. So then you might start working something like these exercises we were doing yesterday when I had you do the stretching frog, see? That one day. Another day you might say, oh, I can't even straighten my legs. They're super tight, so I'm going to just sit here and feel like this here and just work down, down, down like that. And you'll start to grow. And as you grow and work those, you will stay completely loose, so that once you've grown, you don't have to really stretch and work it to be there. You just have it. And that's how the animals naturally are. If you see a lion, a hyena, any other kind of animal, your pet, your dog, you know, they're automatically right there when they wake up. They don't have to do a lot of warm-ups to be able to do the fundamental movement they're doing. So what we're doing is the same thing. As you do the animals, they each will give you a quality of healing and energetics that will help you grow. And so the shaman that use these arts for healing were teaching people to stop thinking and start doing. Becoming what you're doing. So you observe an animal in nature, you use your mind to look, and you just feel. You don't think at all. You just feel what you're seeing. When you feel what you're seeing, that feeling lets you respond to the movement of the animal and become what you're doing. So as you watch, you become. And when you do it that way, that's how the art was intended to be done, for healing and also for growing and your chi, getting your energy to come forth normally, back to what it should be. A lot of people's energies, chi is low or it's not flowing because of the mind. The mind prevents you from letting your energy flow. And in order to get your energy to flow properly, it's not thinking but doing. Even though with Qigong, you'll hear a lot of different exercises that are based on complicated meditations, but what that's doing is keeping you in your thinking mind. And as you're thinking about something, you're not really the same as the other animals in nature then. None of them are using a complicated thinking process with meditations based on all kinds of different things. So the theoretical part of Qigong is one thing, and the actual doing of it's a different thing. So there's two, and in yoga there's the same thing too. There's the theory and the practice, and they're two different things. So some of the theory may be fun to know and follow. It's fun maybe to know about it, but it's not the same when you do it. Doing it will be completely different. Because if you're thinking, then you're not able to really respond the same way. When you start your classes or you do your own practice, you don't have to follow that theory by earth, metal, water, wood, fire, following that order exactly. You could start in any posture you want. So you could start doing fire immediately, or you could start with water. So the order in theory is that it follows that cycle, the 5-element cycle, but that doesn't mean you actually don't do that in practice. So in practice, like whatever animal you're feeling like or doing at the time, say I want to do a frog, I might just immediately start right here and is the frog then, and the water element, see, like that way. We start right off. Or if you wanted to follow the cycle for real beginning level students, you could say, everybody, let's take a seat, and we're going to start with the earth element here of the toad. And we'll just be going like this, looking down, see? So we'd start off that way. And that would be how you could, in theory, if you're teaching real beginners, it's okay to say, let's start with earth, and now we're going to go here and give birth to the metal element like this. And then we're going to take metal and turn into water and be the water drop like this, remember? And then the water gives birth to the wood, so we might be doing like this wood element posture here, or like this bow one like this way here. So you could do that in the theoretical way as for beginners very slowly. And then from the wood we'd go to fire and we'd go like that. But that would be the theory of doing it in the 5 elements. But in practice, you don't really do that. Once you really get used to doing it and students know how to do everything, I'll say, let's start everybody right here. And we'll go like that right into wood, say. Or I might say, let's start everybody, and we'll go right into the metal like that. So you don't have to follow that order. So now today what I'm going to show you is a variation from the deer here. So let's go like this way to the deer. And remember, when you make your change for beginning level, you can just use your fingertips like this to the floor so that you can go like this, 1, 2 to the other side like that, see? The way I'm doing it is I'm just flowing like this, and this one's a little bit more advanced, but notice how I just turn right into it. Now from this variation of the deer, what I'm going to show you with the deer on this side, I'll show you so you can see better. When you're in this position like this, the next thing we're going to do from here, since we covered the deer quite a bit, take this leg that's in front and just move it to the side way out. If you can, 90, but if you got a real beginner, you can go part way out like this then. So if you're just right here. Now, if you can't take a seat beside the heel at all like that, you can modify it and bring the foot under like that. So what I showed you last time in the training, I think I showed you sitting on the foot with the deer. You can come up and take a seat onto the foot that way. That may be good for some, and for some it would be too much. So you got to try this way first, and then come up and take a seat onto the foot if possible. And if I'm sitting on my foot comfortably, that's a version of the deer also. It's still the deer, but it's just a version of whether you're sitting on the foot. And you can also do that with the foot in front or sitting up onto the foot. What this is for is it allows you to change your sides easy. So watch what I'm doing here. If I am up and on top of the foot like that, that allows me to take that foot and slide it back under to the other side. And that lets the deer change that way, which is a very difficult change. So when you do this for your students, you hold this way. Hold to the floor, coming like that way. Bring the foot under and out. See how I'm doing this one? So the exercise on this one for your students is to hold the weight up from the back. Here's the side view of it like that, right? Now see how I'm bringing my foot under here and then back and around. I'll show you from this side here so you can see better. But see how I'm taking a seat to the foot. And the other foot, just hold your weight up that way. And when you come forth and back like this, you first take a seat with the foot in this position. Then you lift your weight up and slide it around and under like that. So here to here, see how I'm pivoting. And then when you've done this a few times, you just go like this, 1, 2, and change this way to the other side. Now one more thing goes to this. That's the center position. So when I go to here and I'm in the middle, I'm just taking a seat right onto the side of, you're sitting right onto your ankle and side of foot like this. See, I'm taking a seat right there. Those are 3 positions for the deer. So you're here, 1. The knee can be out as far as you can open. So you could have it here or here. Okay, and then you go 1 position here. The second can be in the middle. And then the third's where you rotate it around so your sole is up and you're just sitting beside it this way here like that, see? When you're here with the deer like this, the standard position is here. And you're sitting beside your heel the best you can. And if you can't sit, sometimes you'll have a student that can't sit beside their foot. They're kind of like this way, you know. Then maybe turn the foot under and take a seat right on the foot. And that may be really helpful for somebody whose ankle won't let them go to this position like that, see? That's the purpose of the center position. Okay, so when they're here in the deer, no matter what position they're in, now what you're going to do is change to the frog from the deer. So here you are as water the deer. Feel watery. Now watch just the foot that's in front, slide it out to the side as much as possible. Now you're going to go like this. 1, 2, and you reach up. Remember the ball with the frog, like this way. The frog's like holding a bubble, a big bubble. And you come over and hold. Okay, and then when we're coming up with a breath in, take a deep breath in like this. Watch close here. So if somebody can't quite sit this way comfortably and they're way up, you can have them bring their foot over and like this way with the modification, which we've done before, where you're just having it this way. And they could do the same thing then. You'd have to modify, but when you're doing this one, it's the standard frog stretching, where we started out like this, remember, and we brought 1 foot in and just did the standard frog stretching like that. That's the frog stretching also. But now, if you're in the deer posture and you're going to do the frog from the deer, this is slightly more advanced. So what you're doing on this one, you got your foot like this here, sole up, sitting beside it, in the deer, and then I come straight out and I change to the frog now. Coming over, then when you inhale, come up with the bubble, and now watch this way over. What you may notice is when you come up and you're going to roll towards the side where your foot is this way with the knee bent. When you come over, this is much more difficult than when it's done with the foot the easy way like we did before. This one's the more advanced method of doing it. Then we're going to go from here again, 1 more. Now we're going to make the change on this one. So the way the change goes is you just come like this way here, coming like this up. Inhale, bringing it out as you exhale. And you'll notice how you're in this position of the frog here. When you turn a little bit, you just bring your foot that way. Flow right into it that way. I'll show you the other direction too so you can see. Here, just like that, see? Same as when you turn with the deer. Notice how when you go from deer to deer, you're rolling into it this way. Same thing happens, and then it's kind of hard to do it and stay facing the class, but then you open up that way as much as possible to the 90 degree if you can, and it doesn't have to be exact. But then from here we're just going to roll down